Hello everybody and welcome to Suzerain with your host Parallax. The last video we did the budget. We went -2 into the budget. I think we went -2, and then we had the opportunity to invest over here in some agriculture, and that brought us down to -3. And now we're at -4, and I don't remember what happened because there was only 4 budget things. There was only 4 budget things. We had $1. And we increased the budget of 2, so that would put us in -2, and then the other one we kept as usual. So I'm not quite sure where this -4 has come from. Perhaps going into debt is snowballing, and we're going more and more into debt because we can't pay back our loans. So that's terrifying. And I was kind of hoping the economy was going to be turning around. There's just not that many. There's not that many choices that help impact the economy, and every time we've had the opportunity to invest in something, we've done so immediately. My highway, I thought when I hit the continue button and it jumped us like 6 months, I thought my highway would get closer to being done. It is not. We sent out the welfare checks, which I guess is happening or is helping. We invested down here, and we did, I guess, I don't know where the other dollar went to. Okay, let's talk about the polis now, because and really, can I go back 1 second? When you look at this order, these protests were nationwide unrest, and it was red. But now it's only orange, and it's peaceful protests. So now, even though yes, the police are stretched thin, they're not stretched as thin as they were. Okay, so the situation is not as dire, and the police did get an increase. All right. I was in my office reading reports from the ministries about the current situation of the protests. My next scheduled meeting was about the law enforcement budget with Nina. I hear some knocks on the door. Nina entered and took a seat in front of my desk. Leas was absent. Interesting. Good afternoon, Mr. President. Things will be late. Apparently there was an urgent matter at the Ministry of the Interior that she had to attend to. It would not take long. Very well, let's wait. I returned to my reports, and Nina smoothed back an errant strand of her hair. There was an awkward silence. While we wait, why don't we have a little chat? This might come off as a little strange, but I'm proud of you. Despite everything, you're actually trying to reform the country. It's we, Nina, not me. I couldn't do any of this by myself. So no, I am proud of you. Yeah, there we go. Let's say that. Well, thank you. You certainly have a way with words, don't you? Wouldn't be president otherwise. He laughed. Fair enough. He leaned forward. How are you really holding up, Anton, being the president? I mean, nothing I can't handle. Very well. I'll take you at your word. I want to assist you in the country as best I can, and to do that, I have an idea. We need to eliminate the worst problem we have: corruption. Nonsense. Our government is not a corrupt government. How do we do that? It's high time that the old guard and the Supreme Court stop holding the country in the palm of their hands. That's why I want to form a new unit, the Anti-Corruption Police. That is my idea. So, what if the Anti-Corruption Police get corrupt? What then? Sounds like an excellent idea. I love it. I'm glad you agree. I'm still figuring out the details myself right now, but I think about the possibilities. Also, one more thing about Liz. I wouldn't trust her if I were... Oh, and she knocks on the door. Okay, I already don't trust her. Don't worry about it. I hope I'm not interrupting your conversation. No, not at all. We were just discussing a few things. Nina smiles. I am sorry for being late. There was an important matter at the ministry. Just a small dispute over who should get supplies. Nothing major. Well then, let's get straight in. We will provide a brief update on the situation of law enforcement. Go ahead. Nina, the Ministry of Justice and the Supreme Court is working in close collaboration with the Ministry of the Interior to address the protests in the country. I must add that thanks to the hard work of our judiciary, the law enforcement forces assigned to my ministry are doing their jobs efficiently. I would call it the success of our forces on the ground, not due to the judicial branch of our government. As expected, the budget increase has boosted morale of the employees in the law enforcement agencies. In these dire times, my people and Nina's people are especially delighted. This came as a pleasant surprise to many in the Ministry of the Interior, since it was not even one of our campaign promises. And for that I will say this, bravo, it was an excellent decision. Agreed, at the Ministry of Justice we are happy with the decision. Well, the backlog of the court cases are dwindling and we have started to fulfill the needs of the current situation. Certainly a step in the right direction. I did what was expected from me, that's all. Thank you, I'm glad you approve. Of course. Well then, let's move on to what we're actually here for. Due to the budget increase, we can also start doing much more as main branches of security of Soreland. However, a decision has to be made about the budget balance between the Ministry of the Interior and the Ministry of Justice. Exactly. When deciding, you must look at the bigger picture. I believe you ought to make the right choice and pick the Ministry of the Interior. What if I decide to balance the budget between the Ministry of the Interior and the Justice? Okay. Balancing the budget won't help as much. The current situation clearly demands that a decisive choice be made to benefit the nation. I agree. We need to focus on one ministry to achieve tangible results. Of course, that would make the most sense in the current situation would be to support the much neglected Ministry of Justice. That would improve the legal system. Tell me, Nina, who brings the criminals before the justice? Let me answer. The police force connected to the Ministry of the Interior. The Ministry of the Interior is much more significant and important government agency that is in need of the funds, especially during these times where there are many protests in the country. Good luck prosecuting criminals or going through local government laws without enough judges. Why should I pick the Ministry of the Justice? Each day the stacks of legal cases are piling up for the judges. Cases for corruption and criminals are delayed due to lack of funds. It seems to me that the organizational issue, but not funding one. So she's telling her that she's organizing bad, and that's why it is. The Interior needs the money more for the police and local governments. I'm ready to make my decision. Who will it be? The funds will go to the Ministry of the Interior to be used to improve the police and local government. The budget will be distributed equally between the Ministry and the Interior and the Justice. The funds will go to the Ministry of Justice to reduce the court backlog and improve the judiciary system. Bad decision making. Excuse me. That's how you know someone's not on your side. When you make a hard choice and they immediately attack you for it instead of realizing that it was a hard choice and that you made a decision. You look out for those people in your life, right? In a video game or in life. People need to know and be able to put themselves in your shoes and realize when you had to make a tough decision, and they need to be able to support you. This right here, off the cuff remark, that's just doing that. All that's doing is making her feel better. She doesn't care about your feelings, right? And that might not be the case in like a relationship, but if you work with somebody and it's your boss, you need to be in the same idea. I must return to the ministry to implement necessary changes. Very well, see you soon. I need to have a few words with the president. Here's my proposal. Corruption has always been a major issue with any government. It is the root of evil. That's why I'm proposing the formation of the anti-corruption. Yes, we talked about this. As a sub-branch of the Ministry of Justice, the ACP will be given full authority by the presidency to investigate corrupt government officials and citizens. Oh, this is coming off to be a little, what was his name back in the 50s? McCarthy? In the United States back in the 50s, the Congress, for some reason, decided to start calling random citizens before Congress and make them swear that they weren't communist. But the weird thing is, you can't prove a negative. You can't prove somebody didn't do something. You can't prove somebody isn't something, right? Because it falls back to the no true Scotsman, right? Where you got these two Scottish people sitting on a bench, and one of them reads in the paper that a heinous murder had occurred, and the other Scotsman sees it, and they start talking about it. The first Scotsman says, whoever did that, it won't be a Scotsman. I guarantee you'll be some kind of crazy Irishman or one of those English devils. A couple of days later, they're sitting at the same bench reading another newspaper. Headline says, murderer caught. And it was a guy who was born and bred in Scotland. And the second guy looks over and says, well, he's no true Scotsman. No true Scotsman would do that. So the idea is that you can never be good enough, right? You can never, like, a true Scotsman. What is a true Scotsman, right? The initial assertion, or the initial claim was that no Scotsman could do such a thing, but now it's no true Scotsman. So this McCarthyism, I didn't think of that angle. The Supreme Court and oligarchs that meddle in politics, just for an example. If you accept this, will give your administration the ability to deal with corruption quickly and decisively. Very well, form the anti-corruption police. Excellent. I will start the prep work. You are making good decisions after good decisions today, Mr. President. I will be in touch. So now we're going to have the anti-corruption police. We're going to have our own little police force that goes after people that we don't like. People who we know for a fact have pulled us into a room and they have threatened us. So that's cool. Let's read the newspapers. Protesters target sacred symbols. Richter calls president to action. People's Freedom and Justice Party says that President Ryan needs to address issues like term limits and electoral thresholds. We're doing that. We are doing that. That's why you had this down here where it says that you beat me. Where is it? Oh, not there. Maybe in Sorlin today. We've already talked about that, buddy. Catch up. The recession is growing faster. I know. And what really makes me mad is that one guy, the guy who tried to get us to do the... Number one, he wanted this to be done instead of the highway. We picked the highway and he wanted his company to be done. And we didn't pick his company. So that guy, he told us straight up that if we played ball with him, he would end the recession. So I know what's happening right now. I know that businesses, the big businesses, they're holding the purse strings and they're squeezing the common people until the situation becomes unattainable, and then they're gonna pounce. So we gotta just stand firm and hopefully we get more pips. Man, we had a pip. We were at 4, man. Sucks. Briefing on the... Oh no. God dang it. The H3 highway construction created a second opportunity to visit the seaside town known for its salmon. Thousands of people from the city were employed for construction work by the new highway project. Thank goodness. Give me my pip. But the main purpose of our visit was to resolve the strike that began to endanger the deadline. The mayor welcomed us into his deal, gathered at City Hall, was dead serious. There was a message of support from the mayor, who was grateful for the investment. After dinner, we moved to the meeting room. Simon began. Taurus Holdings has reached out to us and requested more funds. God dang it. As per the report they have sent out to finish the highway on time, they realize more capital is necessary due to the new labor law that we passed. We scheduled the construction to finish sooner. Ours might miss that target with the current trajectory. This is unacceptable. I should have known that a cheaper offer wasn't technically possible. We wouldn't have this issue if you decided. I don't like that. I really don't like people like mouthing off like that. I don't like it how you see how accusatory she is. You decided this. I don't. There's a tactful way to say things. If we don't provide, we could face a delay which would endanger our reputation. Why do they even need the extra money? This is important. We finish on time. Money is no matter. They need it for unforeseen expenses that came from the new workers' bill rights. A couple shipment companies they had contracts with also increased cost on the necessary materials. Well, I was gonna bitch and moan a little bit that they should have taken care of this before the law was passed, but what's done is done. The state must have more control over these construction projects. For the next project, we should appoint a direct manager from the cabinet. One thing is for certain, our administration must avoid working with Taurus in the future and opt for safe choices. Mistakes happen in any project, maybe, but we could have avoided this issue. There were warning signs around Taurus. We will sink more money into this or let them figure it out. Look, if we were supposed to spend $2. If we went with the one guy or the other, we were going to spend $2. I signed into law the thing that screwed us up, so what's your decision, Mr. President? Give them the additional funds. We don't have the funds to spare. I kind of feel like we ain't got the funds to spare. That's what I'm kind of feeling like. But they're just going to have to figure it out. Okay. As you wish, I will allocate the funding. First, they fail the opportunity, now they get more money. Ridiculous. Regardless, the decision is made. Well, then, thank you for coming. This matter is over. Thank you, everyone. -5. Ugh. We are so boned. But look at that. The highway is almost done. The highway is almost done. Now the economy. Anti-corruption police. Nice. Lovely. Lovely. The law now has the oh, look at this. Anti-corruption campaign. Effective judiciary system. Positive judiciary personnel. Ooh, look at that. The law is strong right now, man. We're doing good on the law. The economy is still tits up. Military, nah. Welfare we haven't got to. Order, not gonna increase. Oh my goodness. My goodness. -5. Jeez. I bet all of you are sitting there right now going, I will never let this guy touch my accounting books. You're correct. Racing back the path of the ships, I looked to the harbor. Leshaven was home to one of our largest harbors in the entire continent. Many dock workers were loading or unloading containers. Work never stopped there. The door opened. Salmon, Mikhail, and Edith entered. NPC. Okay. Mr. President. Mr. President. Nice to see you again. Good afternoon. Great to see you all again. Mr. President, before we start, I would like to mention some rumors that I have heard. Workers' Rights Act did not sit well with many business holders, especially the first section about the minimum wage. I heard the same. It has caused these businesses to lose millions of rent just overnight. Unfortunate, really, especially during a recession. I don't understand how more people having money is hurting the economy. If everybody who is working is now has more money in their pocket, they'll be buying more stuff. They'll be going to the store and they'll be buying more stuff. I don't know how that was hurting the economy. Businesses having money to pay people. Businesses, to a certain extent, businesses do not have a problem with cash flow. They have a problem overreaching. They have a problem being gluttonous, right? The 3% yearly growth is a fairy tale. It's a fairy tale. There's no way that after 20 years in the saddle, you're going to go and find 3% market growth in the country that you opened up in. You're going to saturate your market, and that's going to be the end of it. And you can't convince people of that. If you don't believe me, just understand that there have to be child labor laws. You understand? Like, there have to be laws telling people and corporations that you can't make children work because they have to go to school. A corporation would be like, cool, let's have children work. They'll work for like $2, right? They don't care about that child's welfare or happiness. Like, they specifically have to be told not to do it. And every job I've ever worked at, if it says like, oh, the state says you have to get like one 15-minute break every 4 hours, the company's policy is exactly what the minimum is. Not a single job I ever worked at was like, oh, the minimum is 15 minutes, but we're going to give you 30 minutes because, we want you to be happy, we want you to be well rested. You can't do that if you're tired and your feet hurt, Every single job has been like, oh, that's the bare minimum set by the law. That is exactly what we will do. And it's like, wow. It just shows like they want you to go above and beyond. There was a woman, I'll never forget this. I was at a retail job. And there was a woman who, I don't know why she was talking to us, but she was checking out and she was like, I own a business. And this kid, he clocked out, and as on his way out, I told him to pick up some trash and throw it away. And he was like, do you want me to clock back in for that? And she was like, guess who's not getting a pay raise the next time that he's up for review? And I was like, okay, cool, great. And then I pulled out one of the bags, and it had gotten stuck. There were two bags stuck together. So I pulled one bag out and I put it on the counter, and the other bag I went to put on a hook. And the daughter grabbed the bag and started to open it, right? Started to open it to put like the merchandise in. The mom says, you don't work here. They're not paying you. Don't open that. She said it within the span of a minute. So when it was her company and she asked somebody to do something off the clock, she was pissed they didn't do it. But when it was her daughter doing something off the clock, she was, don't you dare. They have to pay you to do that. Such bullshit. I can't stand these people. That's why I got out of it. I was in retail for the longest time, and then a guy that I really respected, I was like, hey man, why am I working 45 hours during Christmas? A week. And he was like, everybody does it from Thanksgiving to after Christmas. All managers work 45 hours. And I was like, yeah, but I'm only supposed to work 40. And he looked at me and he was like, if you don't like it, go somewhere else. So I did. I quit. Went back to school. But the joke's on me, because my job now, I was sitting down talking about my salary. My boss looked me dead in the eye and was like, get a second job. And it was like, this is my career. This is my career. I went to school for this for 4 years, right? This job is very difficult to obtain. It requires a yearly certificate process that you have to pass, right? Like you can't just get the job once and be done. You always have to apply for your job. And she looked me straight in the face and was like, get another job. Work on the weekends, work nights. And it's just like, wow. Like these people, like they're delusional. And of course, her husband makes like $100,000, $150,000. And then she has the audacity to look at me and be like, oh, go work another job. And it's like, nope. No, thank you. Anyway, rant over. Unfortunate really, especially during a recession. What is unfortunate was this bill was enacted this late. You're in no position to question my decision. I don't care about rumors. If someone wants to say something, they can say it directly to me. There we go. What is really unfortunate, Miss Edith, is that this bill was enacted this late. Neither of them responded. Simon waited patiently. Once everyone was ready, he adjusted his glasses. First of all, I would like to thank everyone for their work on our tax reform system. We all know how complicated our current system is, and this work wouldn't be possible without you. The ultimate goal here is to end the recession. Before we move ahead and start formulating a plan, we need you to determine our direction, Mr. President. We have a few possibilities as a result of the work we have done so far. We can increase, maintain, or decrease the taxes for large corporations. I believe some of us in the room have a few strong opinions about this. In parallel, we can increase, maintain, or decrease the taxes for small or medium businesses. Let's start with large corporations, and then we'll move to small businesses. What is the outcome if we increase taxes for large corporations? It's not an option. At this point, our economy is in shambles. What is the outcome if we increase taxes for large corporations? We can't do that. Taking what's remaining from the businesses will destroy the economy further. We could balance it by decreasing taxes of small businesses to put some relief on them. I see. I'm not sure that's a good idea with the current state of our economy. I do believe there is one way to get out of recession is through trade and economic contribution of large corporations. Increasing their taxes will turn them on you. I will go a step further. Increasing their taxes will have disastrous results, and it will make you an enemy of them. Trust me, Mr. President, nobody wants to make an enemy of them. It goes both ways, of course. What if we decrease the taxes for large corporations? Is there any downside to keeping the things the way they are. I am of the opinion that if we don't make any changes, nothing will change. To stop the recession, we need to do something. I think so too. Agreed. What if we decrease the taxes on large corporations? It is not an option at this point. Our state is broke. We are barely functioning with the help of our taxes. Do we increase? I see. I'm not sure that's a good idea either. Okay, so we said, should we increase taxes on the large corporations? He says, not an option. We say, can we decrease it? He says, not an option. I say, we keep it the same way we are. He says, nope, can't do that either because we'll just stay with the recession. Me too. Would you have them on your good side or on top of solving the recession crisis? Okay, hold on. We could balance it by increasing the taxes. I see. That's not a good idea. I think this is a great idea, says Edith. Me too. You would have them on your good side on top of solving the recession crisis, Mr. President. I have to agree, being their ally would come in handy. What does everyone think we should do? I don't think we can do anything at this point, although I would have preferred to decrease in taxes. It doesn't seem to be the best option. Probably because we're at -5. Our international trade is driven mostly by the products of these corporations. They are the backbone of our economy. Exactly. An increase should be out of the question. These companies are the backbone of our economy and our way out of the recession. Huh. Is that true, though? I'm sitting here listening to these two people telling me that to get out of this recession, I can't raise taxes on large corporations. But large corporations are the people that have the most to give because they're large corporations. And if everybody in the world would stand up to them, then I guess we'd have a fighting chance. But what's going to happen is as soon as I increase their taxes, they're just going to go across the river to someone who's like, oh, they've increased your taxes? Well, we'll cut it. And they're like, cool, new trade partner. Let's see here. I'm ready to make a decision. Very well, I'm all ears. We'll increase the taxes for large corporations and balance it with a decrease for small businesses, +1 government budget. Maintain the taxes. We're going to do that because it's going to give us +1. You are making a mistake. This is going to have outrageous effects down the road. Enough, the president has made his choice. Well then, you have taken a note of our action. We will put it into implementation as soon as possible. We will be giving people some relief by enacting tax breaks for small and medium businesses, and there will be an increase for large corporate taxes, which will help us sustain our balance. Very well. Thank you, everyone. That'll be it for today. Good work, everybody. They left the meeting room. I decided to stay a bit longer. Went by the window again and kept watching the sea in silence for more time. Woohoo! -4. We got $1. We got $1 redo. Government budget increased. Nice. Uh-oh, we gotta go out here. We haven't done anything in this area yet. Visit the inspection of schools in Liren. Oh, do you have a thing? Oh, okay. Queen Beatrice appeared on TV to call Sorlin not just a threat to peace, but a threat to peace in the entire world. She condemned the riots and police violence, also expressing her worries about the direction Sorlin is headed. She urged to secure the southern border, citing violent incidents, and okay. Alright, well, Beatrice doesn't like us. What time we got here? We're at only 28. Oh man, we can do more. Okay, let's read some news here. Tax cuts for small and medium corporations. Woohoo! Torrent Hill Schools Win Award. National school rankings have announced the results from 1955 school metrics. Surprisingly, in the category of primary and secondary education, the Torrent Hill School has surpassed all others with the highest average results achieved in the student performance, discipline, facilities, hygiene, and happiness. Wow. I think this is the private school, by the way. Large corporation tax increases are uncalled for, says the economics. New military incursion targets, BFF. Who does this? Oh, this is president down there. Well, look, man. I thought this guy being mean to the BFF was like was uncalled for, but the BFF is screwing around in here too. So maybe he and I were going to see eye to eye, and we'll take care of the BFF here. Man, I would love to get out of this economics. What is it? Large corporation downsized. Due to our tax increases, major corporations are downsizing and leaving a large number of citizens unemployed. The country has a habit of avoiding taxes. The country has a habit of avoiding taxes in many parts of society. While this is an improvement to the rampant tax evasion before, it is not a solved issue. Okay, so now the tax avoidance, we're kind of taking care of that. And small businesses are growing thanks to our tax break. Many small businesses are opening and growing, providing jobs in Switzerland. So the large corporations lost people. Small businesses are picking them up. And the small businesses don't have the political clout that the large corporation does. So that's good for us, because if they leave and they keep downsizing and they keep getting smaller and smaller and the void keeps being filled by small and medium businesses, then they're not going to be able to walk into my office alone with a mink covered hat and a cigar telling me what I'm going to do, because if I don't, they're going to screw me over. So good to see that. 45%. And you know what? There was a episode of Mad Men where the guy makes the offhand comment, because back in World War II, the tax rate for the super rich was like 85%, right? Like, it was ungodly. And the guy says, "Oh, if I get any more of these bonuses, I'm going to be bumped up to that 80% tax rate. And at that point, I'm just working for the government." And it was like, yeah, you should not make gaining money like the sole purpose of your being. It should be a diminishing return, because what's the point? That's just like me. If I went and I bought a bunch of silencers and a bunch of guns, and I applied for like fertilizers licenses where I could buy tons of nitrogen, they're going to start denying me stuff. Like, they would start denying me machine guns or denying me suppressors. They would point to the fact that I own so many, and that I have so many, boxes of ammunition or primers and stuff, and they'd say, "You know what? You don't need that much," right? So they're gonna do it to me. Why don't they do it to people with money, right? Same thing. Same thing. All right, let's see what this is. Oh, we're gonna go visit this school that won the award. Hooray! As part of the planned program, we arrive here to visit a middle school. The prestigious Torn Hill School was situated close to the suburbs, just outside of the city center. These buildings were flanked by two hills, each beautifully dotted with these shrubs and flowers. Lucian and Cicada, and I got out of the car to meet at the entrance. Our presence had not gone unnoticed. Apart from our guards, there was at least 10 reporters following us around. That must be the principal. Right this way, sir. The principal was a man of short stature with a bushy mustache, and a pair of glasses. He approached us quickly, but was stopped by the security guards. They started patting him down and searching him. I just wait for them to finish. "Mr. President, such an honor to meet you." Shake his hand and smile for the cameras. We shook hands and I turned for the cameras. "Welcome to our humble school. Sorry about the security guards. It's a necessary standard precaution." "Excellent. You must be Mr. Glade." He just, I don't know, didn't even respond to me. I guess I shouldn't have brought it up. "It's a pleasure to meet you, Lucian." Yeah. "And Miss Walda. So good of you to come all the way out here." "Thank you." At the entrance, the school's motto was inscribed on the wall in giant letters. It's Latin, darling. So it says, "He who controls himself shall grow and be his master." I don't know. I have no idea. "Education is the premise of progress in all societies and all families." That's a really good motto, actually. That's not that bad. We walked through the gates. There were many students lined up in front of the stairs to the main building. The school band started playing as we entered. All the students immediately snapped to attention and turned to me. "Looks more like a military institution than a school." Exactly, that's what we pride ourselves on. Discipline has the utmost importance in our school. Very good. She shook her head. "Glad you like it, Mr. President. Now we will watch the students take their daily student oath." A boy and a girl went up to the stage and grabbed the microphone. The student turned to them. "I am a sword. My strength lies in my blood. I will respect my honorable elders. I will protect the young. My life belongs to Switzerland now, and it will belong to it forever. I will always follow the guiding light of Colonel Soul and the great swords. This is what we were told before, like victory unto death or something. Words to remember. What? No one even remembers it after they graduate. If you wish, follow me. We'll take a look at it. And I hate that. Like, can she not just be diplomatic? I would really look forward to removing her, or at least censoring her, if I could talk to her privately. Although the hallways we made way to classroom 7A, as soon as we entered, the whole classroom rose up and snapped to attention. Sit down, please. The students sat down. The same boy and girl walked up to us. These are our top students in our top class. This here is my son. The boy came up forward and said to me like a military officer. Tell me, Mr. President. Tell Mr. President what you want to be. Mr. President, I want to be a general, sir. I'm ready to sacrifice my life for my country and for you, sir. Good. You'll make a fine soldier in the future. At ease, General. And here's the idea. We didn't know that this was a paramilitary school. Had we known, we could have done something different. We could have maybe met the principal at dinner. We could have talked for the principal for a little bit. Then we could have walked around the grounds while the kids were doing something. But now, like, they're shoving us into this situation where we have to clap for the oath. We have to reinforce these children. And the reason why we're doing that is because we don't want, I mean, some people want to be officers. Some people want this lifestyle. This is not a bad thing. Some people want to do this, and that's fine. That should be, that should be applauded. But it can't be forced. You can't force people to behave this way. That is ludicrous. But if the people who want to willingly do this, fantastic, The principal squeezed his son's shoulders, and the boy looked up and smiled to his father. He patted him on the back and sent him off to his seat. The cameras flash. This woman. This woman. Okay, so this is simply ridiculous. You are raising soldiers here, not students. She's yelling. I am so sorry. I will immediately perform disciplinary actions. How about you, young lady? What do you think about this? She is our top student in this school. Her excellent grades are too. I did not ask you. She bit down and gently addressed the young student. What do you think about your school? Just between us girls. I'm sick of having to knit and sew while the boys learn science and chemistry. I'm smarter than all of them. Why do I take these stupid handcraft classes? Shush. You don't know what you're talking. Shut up and let her speak. My math and reading scores are the best in the school, but they won't let me take the classes I want because I am a girl. I want to be a scientist, not some soldier's wife. You heard her, Mr. Principal. She will make the necessary changes at once. We need more people like you in this country. I applaud your determination. Let's just say that, because I don't want to, obviously, this girl, I just said that you can't force people to do that. Like, I get that. But I don't know who these girls' parents are, right? Like, I don't. And I understand that you want her, I'm a parent, and like, I send my kid to a school because the school that I send her to, they talk about what makes a good person. They talk about virtues, and they say things like, we need to practice that virtue, right? Like, you know how many times I've been with her at her school, and they'll say things like, oh, this is a good opportunity for you to be brave, like if she was doing a class, she was doing a I forget what they call it, a circus or something, right? And they were like, we want you to be one of the headmasters or the ringmasters. We want you to talk to everybody. And she was like, oh, I don't know, I'm really scared. And I just, like, in there, her teacher said, this is a good opportunity to be brave. This is a good opportunity to practice, a virtue. And then she was like, okay, I'll do it. And she and I went turkey hunting. She said that like 2 years ago, but she and I went turkey hunting a month ago, and it was really, really windy, and it was really, really scary, and it was dark, and it had rained a lot. And when I turned off the car and I was pulling all the stuff out, I looked at her face and she was scared. She was like, I don't know if I want to go out there and sit in that blind. I was like, it's no big deal. We sat in the car for a second. We just chilled out. As her, eyes got adjusted to the light and the sun came up a little bit, she was like, okay, let's go do it. I was like, awesome. We went out there, put up the blind. She sat down in her little chair. I tried to give her a cot on the ground to sleep on, but she wouldn't do it. But anyway, See, and she's calling me out. This woman. Well then, unfortunately, we're almost out of time. We have another meeting to attend to today. Thank you for your warm welcome. Mr. President, Lucian, please go ahead. I'd like to speak with the girl alone. Very well, Lucian, let's leave. Thank you for the tour. I really want to tell her to get in the car. There should be an option that says, Miss Walda, you are needed at the meeting. You need to come with us and leave the little girl alone. Because what's going to happen, Walda? What, we're gonna throw our weight around here? Who's going to get pissed? The parents, and the parents can't take it out on us because we're going to be leaving. So guess who's going to get yelled at? Guess who's going to get the crap beaten out of her? The little girl. So here you are saying we got to protect this little girl. You're gonna make her the recipient of all her parents' frustrations. So yeah, here, girl. She doesn't even have a freaking name. Her name is Girl. Ugh. We'll say this back. Why not? There we go. Oh, that makes me mad. No decorum. No decorum whatsoever. The entire country is tearing itself apart, and this woman's like, you know what? Screw everybody else. Screw everyone else's, delicately balancing, trying to keep this place afloat. I need to have this settled right now. People need to learn patience. We're going to be doing some education reforms, though. After the visit yesterday, I can't even sleep thinking about that little boy and girl. I have never been more sure of my intentions to reform our education system. Lucian took off his reading glasses and put them on the table. I agree, an education reform is necessary. Yeah, let's just kind of see what we can do. Because here, at the end of the day, I'm hoping that we can just say, you know what, there are no reforms, and just be done with it. Those students have to repeat that same soulless propaganda every single day. They are being brainwashed in an age when their minds need to be free. On top of that, young girls are denied the same opportunity as boys. Women like me, yada yada yada, study twice as hard to receive the same blah blah blah. Mr. President, we need to bring change. We need to free minds. These young people, they are the future. Very well, what do we need to do that for the education reform? We need to keep politics out of the curriculum. Soul should be only viewed as a historical figure. Children shouldn't have to repeat his name every day. This is actively poisoning young, bright minds. Instead of thinking for themselves, they are learning to take things at face value. We also need to ensure boys and girls receive the same instruction. Handcrafts like knitting and sewing should be taught to both sexes, or not at all. Orleans youth must be technically skilled and capable for the next decade. That won't be possible with the amount of nationalistic indoctrination and narrow-minded thinking found in our schools today. Either we raise a generation ready for the challenges of the future, or not. What will it be? Lucian, what do you think? As much as I respect Colonel Soul, his time has passed. Now it is our time. I do think this might be the first step to a larger plan. Okay, let's reform it. You will not regret it. I will work immediately. Now the decision has been made. Let's move on. Very well. After the budget increase, the ministry quickly began formulating plans on how to effectively use the money. But before moving forward, the question of keeping education fully state-funded or allowing for new private schools remain open. Tell us about the benefits for allowing for private schools. I've made my opinion clear. I'm against it, but it would give us additional funds for education while increasing competition. It would only support our overall economic strategy of promoting a market economy. We have enough money to improve education in Sorlin. We do not need to complicate things further with a privatization incentive. So what is your decision? Initiate privatization to draw out more funds. This should allow for more competition and quality. Keep education solely a matter of the state. We need to prevent interference from private interests. I don't see what's wrong with giving people the option. I don't see that as being an issue. I mean, just think about it. What if you have kids who were special needs, and we just weren't providing for them, right? What if you were? And even if we weren't providing for them, it should be kids with special needs. That is a one-on-one family decision needs to be made because every child is different. So I'm going to go ahead and do it. Will do. That should be it for now. I'll get to work and report back later. This has been a very productive day. I'll be returning to Porcelain Allsword. Thank you for your time. I felt calmer here somehow, but I would have to return to the chaos soon enough. There we go. Hey, -3! Yes. Yes. Perfect. Perfect. It did not tell me. It didn't tell me when I was clicking the buttons that I was going to get a +1 to the budget, but it popped up. So that is fan-freaking-tastic, man. That is great. -3 is a lot better than -5. And if we can get to -2 with all these budgetary stuff, I'll be insanely happy. -2 is where I was at when they issued that warning that we could be screwing ourselves over, right? So -2 is where I want to be. Right there on the razor's edge, you know what I mean? And hopefully the trade deal with here is going to give us +1, and hopefully the trade deal over here is going to give us -1, because this will be more fair, and then this right here will actually just generate money. So, yeah, hopefully. And then here, what does this say? Global trade war. A confrontation between the superpowers has led to an economic war with sanctions and embargoes disrupting global trade. Nothing I can do about that. That's not on me. Okay. Modernized educational techniques. Cool. With the new educational reform, plenty of new education techniques are being introduced. Furthermore, the influence of traditional teaching has been curbed. The educational system has become privatized, leading to an educational gap between the rich and the poor. Plan aims to increase funds by allowing private interests to buy or build educational institutions. And that stinks, right? That stinks because the poor, I mean, I didn't think about that if you have private schools, they're going to be able to pay a lot better so that the really great teachers go to the private schools. Didn't think about that. All right. President visits school. Of course we did. Assembly talks about prayer, language. Don't really care. Rain is making a mistake. Oh, my goodness. Who is this? Oh, I don't really care. Administration analysis, education, privatization. Communist Party leader arrested. Member of Assembly arrested. Woo! Young Swords and the Communists yet again. Demonstrators arrested. Tens of thousands of demonstrators were driven out of a city centers by riot police this week. According to the ground sources, thousands have been detained. The government still has not declared the real numbers or the identities of the individuals. Thousands? Thousands have been detained? Okie dokie. Hard to believe. All right. Ministry of Education is reporting that she has begun working on the approved education reform. The details of this education reform will be finalized over the coming months. If the reform package is accepted, the next step of the process would be to discuss the indoctrination of education. United Cantana launches second satellite. Intelligence reports that the United Cantana has successfully launched a second satellite which has capability of radio communication. This means that United Cantana radio communications will be able to be transmitted through a satellite for the first time ever, a technology that no other country currently possesses. That's cool. Meeting with Gloria Torrey on planned reform. This girl, I think... Yeah, this is going to be a big meeting because this is the girl who is the leader of the right wing and moderates of our party. So this is going to be a big one. We'll stop after this. Oh, we're already at 49. Technically, I should stop right now. And this should be the next video. I think I'll do that. I think I'll stop right now, and that'll be the next video. But look here. We got a lot of the stuff that we wanted, right? We're only at -3 on the budget. We're going to be doing some more things here to get us more money. Even though the economy is still lagging behind, we have some green things, right? We have some green things. And some of the stuff that was red are now yellow. But unfortunately, more red stuff has popped up, which is not good. But The highway will get done soon. And when the highway is done, we will be able to drive and move tons and tons of oh look, is that red? That red is showing the completion, I bet. Hold on here. Oh, where's the map? Where's the legend? Is it like physically on here? No, it's not physically on. Oh, it is. It is a highway. Look. Highway up, highway down, highway that way, highway out to there, and then boom, tons of highways that connect the entire country. There should be a highway coming up this way, the coast road. That's great. But now there's a highway creeping up here, creeping up here. The last little bit, I guess, will be all the way, boom, into there. So it's halfway built. But it shows it's over halfway, so I guess this was the hard part. I guess this will be the easier road up here. But damn, that's great. That's great. Military, not really haven't done anything there. We're gonna have to make some cuts to the military, I guarantee you. Oh no, I think we kept it the same, so maybe it'll be the same. Order, nationwide peaceful protests of corruption. We're gonna put a dent into that, man. We're gonna put a dent into that. It's gonna be great. And because the corruption is gonna be organized crime, we're gonna get both of those. We're gonna knock both of those out. Oh, so good. Alright. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day. I will see you in the next one.